Hey y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. We are reviewing Ready to Love season 10, episode 3 and 4. Yes, 3 and 4. We're catching up. We're catching up. So, episode 3, we start off with this episode is called All Together Now. All Together Now. All Together Now. Oh, wait, they're at this comedy club. Angie is mad at Wayne. Wayne. This is Wayne. Because Wayne did not call, he did not text, he didn't send her a pigeon. Wayne is like, I'll get to you when I'll get to you, okay? So she's feeling some type of way about it. Eddie and Coley, they're talking, they're feeling each other. Deanna's walking around with body yada 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 body yada yada. Deanna got body. I wonder how much she weigh. That's probably inappropriate to ask, but like she's a big woman, but she's not big, if that makes sense. Like she's not overweight. She's not huffing and puffing. She's in shape. She's just big. Like she's tall and she's statuesque. But yeah, she has a big body. She says she's an adrenaline junkie. Now, that could be a bad thing. That could be a bad thing. Someone like that, mind you, she's a firefighter, right? A woman firefighter. That's a lot. And I think it takes a certain kind of man to want to put up with with someone like that. I do want to caution how much of an adrenaline junkie she is. Like, does she make decisions that are sound, or does she just live life very loosely? And it's one thing to live life loosely, but doing it in a way that's irresponsible may not be appealing to your future mate. Tay talks to Naeem. Naeem tells her straight up, I got 5 kids, 3 baby mamas, and I don't like any of them. Tay's like, oh, well, okay, I'm gonna exit stage left. I'm gonna exit stage left. She really thought he was joking. I wish we all thought he was joking. I wish he was joking, but he's not. And that's the reality of some of these men. They're very handsome, attractive, personality wise too. Like he has a very engaging way about himself, Naeem. So I could understand how he way with having so many kids with 3 different mothers. This is not unusual, but every season you're gonna have a Naeem. You're gonna have someone who has multiple kids. People's like, oh my gosh, I don't want so many kids. But it is what it is. If you're at a particular age, you're bound to meet someone who has a lot of kids. He says he is a sucker for love. He's a sucker for love. He loves love, and it really speaks to his childhood and how he was brought up. He says how he was adopted and dealt with abandonment issues. So he's gonna, continue to use that as his story, which is definitely warranted. Don't get me wrong. I just want to know, when do you stop? When do you stop talking about you being adopted? Okay. Like, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of adopted people, not everyone, because there are some adopted people who I just learned about someone who was adopted recently. What wasn't recently adopted. I learned about them being adopted. I learned about that information recently. And I was like, wait, what? You're adopted? I made it more of a big deal than it needed to be. I probably made it awkward. So I say that to say, not everyone is quick to lead with that or have that as a badge. It's like a badge of honor. Oh, I was adopted. Like, okay. Camp says he doesn't date to marry. He does not date to marry. He's here to really, kind of see where things goes. And some people feel like that's a red flag. I'm not one of those people. I don't think you have to have this narrow way of going about relationships. Like, oh, we're only dating to marry specifically. That's the only. No. We're dating because we like each other. You are fitting what I'm needing currently in my life, and I hope that we could grow together and you could continue to be in my life. But this pressure of, I'm dating for you to become my wife. Hold on. Let's see what's going on first. I remember when I was younger, I said the next guy I date. This was at the time when I was super still conditioned in my mindset when it comes to dating, when it comes to religion and God being in the mix of it, right? And Christianity, thinking that I have to date to marry, and there's no way I can date to explore my likes, my wants, my needs, and even have an understanding of what that looks like. So there was this pressure that I was under, that I put myself under, that was also placed upon me. So I said, the next boyfriend I have, he's going to be my husband. The next relationship I'm in, we're going to get married. And I remember this guy I was working with, he said, don't think like that. Don't say that, because that puts more pressure than necessary on that relationship. And at that time, I wasn't ready to receive that. But I understand. I understand now. I understand now. Shanice says that's a red flag for her. She wants to be married. She wants to be married. She doesn't want someone who wants to, quote unquote, waste her time. And she feels as if Cam may be someone who will waste her time. So she was like, nah, it's gonna be a no for me, dog. Sahara is connecting with somebody, and this somebody is Hussein, who's insane. Look, Sahara is an interesting character. I think she's fun as far as a lot of energy and is exciting. I feel like being in her presence. She's funny, but a lot of guys, I keep saying a lot of, like, did I do the statistics for it? But there are guys who are not interested in that, right? Who's not interested in hearing or seeing their woman be loud. I don't want you to have a personality, right? Like, there are men who are like that, and Sahara is not appeasing to those kind of men. But Hussein. Will says he doesn't. A lot of these men are saying, I'm not trying to get married at the end of this. So Will says the same thing. I don't want to get married. I don't want to get married. No, it's going to be a no for me, dog. Rose was immediately turned off and thought to herself, yeah, I don't want that. Cam, he's 5'10". I think he looks pretty well hided. He doesn't appear as if he's this stout and stumpy guy. He's a firefighter, well in shape. He does look like a Ninja Turtle, but he still looks good. What's one of their names? Francisco? What's a Ninja Turtle? I gotta look this up real quick. Ninja Turtle names. Leonardo. Okay, he's looking like Leonardo, Michelangelo, Raphael, any one of them. But he still looks good. Cam still looks good. And he's being funny. So he's saying here that he's 5'10" on a strong day. So what are you when you're not strong? How tall are you? What is your height on a day that's weak? Are you giving 5'5"? Then we gotta have a conversation. But I think he was just being funny there. Deanna was not impressed. She feels like he is intimidated by her. I don't know. Like, she wanted his energy to be more strong for her. I don't know what that means, but she says she is not into him. He's not tall enough for her. And he's a fellow firefighter. And she feels like she does not want to at all be in relations with a fellow firefighter. She was kind of aggressive during this exchange too. She was like, how tall are you? Like, ma'am, you didn't have to do all of that. That was a little too much. Deanna gives off masculine energy. And I think being that she's a Joan from Philly, I think there's an understanding that a lot of these women behave like a Deanna. So regardless of Deanna being a firefighter, right, being a woman in a masculine dominated role or field, I think Deanna still would have been this masculine field type of energy. They go on a roller skate day, a couple of them. You see True and Naeem. They're talking about how True is feeling some type of way because Naeem did not text her. And Naeem said, I did text you, but when I texted you, the bubble was green. The bubble was green. And I could have sworn you had an iPhone. How is the bubble green? So he's coming to a conclusion in his mind. I think he says it out loud either here or episode 4, which we will get into, that she gave him work phone number, her Google Doc number. First of all, it's not a Google Doc. He kept saying that. Google Doc, Google Doc. No, it's just a Google number or Gmail number. Nonetheless, he doesn't like that. He doesn't like that. He says that just turned him off, and it just appears as if she's really not that into him. You see Shanice and Hussein, they are connecting during this skater ring date. Shanice seems to be more comfortable in this journey. I think she was initially starting off with this professional appearance, talking about her entrepreneurship personality and ideas that she that she has for herself professionally. But really, a lot of men don't care. Maybe all men don't care, but I feel like a lot of men feel like anybody got time for that. What that mouth do though? Shanice is looking good. Shanice is wearing this one piece boob out outfit. Like, ma'am, she is not trying to get eliminated. She says that she learned recently no is a complete sentence. Just saying no is enough. And I love that. Absolutely. It is enough. You see Jay. Jay's connecting with Kiara or Kiara. Kiara is, she talks like that, she does that. And Jay likes her energy. He describes her as this baddie type. You a baddie type. That's her. And they're doing this physical touch. Kiara's laying on him. Well, she's putting her legs on him. He's rubbing her down. It's very cute. It's very cute. So you can definitely see the sparks are flying between them. Angie and Wayne. Let's see what's happening here. Angie is okay. So they're on a date. It's the 4 of them. It's Angie, Wayne, Eddie, and Coley. Angie opens up and talks about her ex-husband, who she was married to when she was young, and says that he paid for everything. She wanted for nothing. She wanted for nada. He took care of everything. And she initially, you thought, at least for me, I thought this conversation would have led to, that's the standard. So I need my next man to be paying for everything. So I'm wanting for nothing, right? That's what I thought it was going to go. But it went to actually, she does not want that life again. She felt controlled. She felt put in a box. She had no freedom to do whatever she wanted or just go about life as she pleased because her husband at the time took care of everything. So she made that very clear to the table, saying that, yeah, I had this luxurious life and my husband took care of everything. But she says, no, I don't want that life again. Wayne says he journals. He's big on journaling, and that's his way of expressing himself. Coley reveals that today, at the time of that date, she reflects on her brother who passed away while he was in the Philippines. He was, he passed away, and she got emotional and really just laid it out. Like, yeah, typically on these days, when it's his anniversary, she would recognize him and do something that would make him proud to hold his memory in place. And so she was saying how she was connecting with Eddie because Eddie's father or uncle, I think one of them, passed away. And so they were connecting there. And that was, look, don't get me wrong, it's nice to connect with people, but sometimes I worry when we connect on a negative memory or a sad memory. Let me say that, because emotions aren't, like, sad isn't a negative emotion, I would say. Or it shouldn't be, I think, like, at least not all the time. But nonetheless, they're connecting on this somber note. And I think that's something to be wary of. Like, let there be something else to connect with, or at least let there be other things. That could be one thing, sure, but let's not only connect on things that are somber. Like, that's kind of depressing, no? Angie pulls Wayne to the side and says, why haven't you texted me? This whole episode is focused on texting, who's texting who's not, etc., etc. Wayne's talking about, I don't. No, this is Wayne. I I'm just kind of vibing. That's Wayne. I'm just, why do you have that hairstyle? I'm sick of it. She's making it known like this is not something that she wants as far as a man who is not forthcoming about his feelings or intentions for her. And she's making it known that she is interested in him, but if he's not, then she will rightfully move forward. And I feel like she handled it pretty well. I think she was mature and upfront about it. Since day one, Angie has been saying, I like you. I like you. Not to everyone, but like she's making it known that, oh, I'm feeling you. This is gonna be obvious. Like I'm not gonna play any games. I'm not gonna not text you. I'm not gonna just give you a fluttery eye and you're just supposed to know. I hate when women are like, oh, he's just supposed to know. As a man, he's just no. These men, anyone, there's no telepathic connection here where we're finishing each other's sentences or just being in each other's heads. No, you have to communicate. Speak up. Closed mouth don't get fed. Now we're at a pottery class, and it's Rocky, Tay, and Rose with Khalil, Fitz, and Cam. And it's Fritz, actually. I've been saying Fitz. It's Fritz. Fritz is his name. And I think he's Haitian because that name, Fritz. Shout out to my fellow Haitians. So they're this pottery class. They're, just rubbing around, doing the whole ghost movie thing. Khalil wants to know how she navigates negative emotions. Who's he talking to? Tay or one of the girls? And I like that he asked that question because I think it's definitely important. How do you manage, not just manage, but how do you navigate, right? How do you go through emotions that aren't the pleasant experience, right? We're not all going to be sad or mad. I mean, we're not all going to be happy all the time. There will be some off days. There'll be some times when you're bothered or annoyed. How do you manage that? Tay says she is emotionally intelligent. She really takes pride in that and would want that in return with her partner. Now we get to Fitz and Rocky. Fitz is a self-proclaimed mama's boy. Yeah, I don't like that. Rocky is a self-proclaimed daddy's girl. I mean, two self-proclaimed, I'm a daddy, I'm a this type of parent girl or this type of parent boy. It could be problematic. Why? Because as a mama's boy, typically they're spoiled by their moms. They're quick to cut a woman off because mama don't approve. They just don't make decisions for themselves because they need to get the approval from mama. And that's annoying. With a daddy's girl, they're used to being spoiled or treated in a particular standard. And though the standard may be fine to an extent, it could also be a detriment. It could also lead people to look at you as, oh, you're impossible to please. Cam says he wants a feminine woman. He wants a woman who falls in line. That's what he said. And he says this while talking to Tay. I don't think Tay really took well to that. I can't remember. Did she? But I like that he said, I really do like that he said that. I want more men to say that. I do. I want more men to be men. I want us to get back to a time when men are being men and women are letting that happen. Okay. I want us to get back to a time when men are being men and women are being women. So the fact that a man here has to even make that known that I want a woman who's a woman, right? I want a woman who's feminine. It says a lot. It says a lot. So we get down to the women's vault with Tommy. Rocky stays wearing a halter. That's what I wrote. Now, this must be a Philly aesthetic because she is still admired by some of these men. And she don't give a damn how she's dressed. So what? I'm wearing a halter. So Tommy says what happens in the vault stays in the vault. And I'm happy he says that. But we know damn well that's not going to happen. These people talk. They will talk. The favorites that they listed, Eddie, of course, very fine. Fritz, Cisco, Jay, Khalil, and Hussein. Shanice said very clearly that when she was vibing with Hussein, that she felt supported by him. They share just experiences together. She talked about how she was just in a financial space of despair. She was homeless and broke at one point. She said that verbatim. And it really shows how much you could get yourself out of a dark place. For her to seemingly look well put together and she has her stuff in order, you would never think that she was homeless or broke at one point. You would never think that. Anyway, they said their least favorite. Rocky said Eddie. She thinks that he's an F boy. He appears as an F boy. I could get that aesthetic. I could absolutely see why she would think that. He does give that impression. As far as just physically, if we want to judge a book by its cover, but from what he has said since we've met him on this season, from his behavior, he's not a player. He's not an F boy. He's not saying what people want to hear. He's saying, no, I'm really looking for love. Like he just so happens to look really fine. And he has the aesthetic of an F boy, but I don't think he is. I truly don't. Maybe he was in the past, but right now, no, I don't think so. Rose says Wayne is her least favorite because he said he's not ready for marriage or he's not interested in dating to marry. Which, sure, look, everyone is welcome or entitled to have their perspective on that, but I don't think this has to be a red flag, right? I feel like we put so much pressure, like just date. Cam is listed as a least favorite. What did Angie say? Angie says, and Deanna feels like he's intimidated by her. No, Deanna, you're low-key aggressive. You're a little too much. Angie also feels the same, that he's intimidated by her, that she thinks he is, and that he is surface level. And I could see that. He doesn't really get too deep in this episode. He does on the next episode. We'll get to that in a moment. So they have their exit dates. Tay and Cam are meeting up. Cam is feeling anxious about it. Tay is so beautiful and such a sight to see that I feel like her light just makes you want to smile. Like she has a beautiful light with her. And Deanna and Wayne are meeting up. Wayne is a space cadet. He's just looking all stupid. Just looking stupid. He says that he feels obligated to go on these dates or to text people, and that's not what he wants to feel. He doesn't want to feel obligated. He doesn't want to feel like he's required to reach out to someone, and he's not excited about that. And I feel like that's a poor way to look at it. Like this is a process that is timed. It's a time process. There's not on some, I'll get to it when I get to it. You have to really get with it. Claim your person or persons, because it's better if you have more than one in this process, and then you'll weed out and narrow it down. But he's just like, he comes across very lazy and like a space cadet. That's what I wrote down. Deanna says, unfortunate, you're not ready to love. And I wrote down, you didn't say unfortunately. You forgot the LY. Hello? I know you got that firefighter degree, but you go back and get an English credit. Deanna, go back and get an English credit, because what is an unfortunate you're not ready to love? No, unfortunately, you're not ready to love. Anyway, Wayne is eliminated. Bye, Wayne. You and your bangs. Bye. Let's get to, that's for me, not for you. Episode 4, Ready to Love, season 10. Polly Pool. First of all, I love this alliteration. P's are so hard to say. Polly Pool Party. Peter pick a peppers. It's so hard, right? Anyway, let's get into it. So the men meet at Tommy's vault. They're like, "Oh, this is nice." Cisco's the first one who walks in. Cisco has these pecs upon pecs upon pecs upon pecs. So he opens the door like it's nothing, like he's like fleeing a wasp or something. Like it's nothing to him. Tommy makes a point to say, Ooh, that was easy for you. Like, Tommy, say you're a little punk without saying you're a little punk. He challenges the men to dig deeper with these women. And remember the golden rule: what happens in the vault stays in the vault. Okay, let's see how long that lasts. Cisco says he struggles with being outgoing. He's really, I guess he's an introvert. Why did you get on this process? How you struggle being outgoing, but you're on TV? Get it together. I need you to get out of your shell. Shanice has been getting out of her shell pretty well. Cisco, we need to see the same upgrade from you. Naeem invites Fritz, Deanna, Sahara, Khalil to his gym. Deanna's walking in with a bubble butt. Bubble butt, bubble butt, bubble, bubble, bubble butt. That's Deanna. I'm like, God damn, I want to smack that ass. Like, I felt like smacking her ass. I felt like smacking her ass. Hello? That's what I said. I felt like smacking her ass. Can we just run that scene again? Hello? What's next? So they say, let's get personal. They play a personal game. We cut to a new scene. Let me just cut it off. We cut to a new scene. It's Hussein, Rocky, Tay, and Cam. They're at Cam's house, and they're playing a game called Let's Get Personal. And they have this drinking bottle with them as they get personal. They're revealing with each other things that they went through, happiest moment in their life or not so happy moments in their life. Rocky reveals that she was a drug dealer. Hello? I'm not surprised. You in that halter top? Of course she was a drug dealer. Of course. It all makes sense. But yeah, she said she was a drug dealer because she was really broke at one point. It felt like she had no choice but to deal drugs. I want to know more about that. I want to know more about that because what is your history? How do you go from, I don't know her background, but like how is that your immediate resolution in your head? Like how was that like, oh, I'm broke. I must go drug deal. I must go deal drugs. I just don't understand. So I felt like that was a little, I don't know. I think Cam was the one who said he was impressed with her honesty and her transparency, her vulnerability. Sure, but how far removed are you from the streets? Because no, ma'am. We jump back to the gym date. Khalil tells us that he went to a boarding school. It's an African boarding school, and he got whipped. And he kept saying, real good, real good, real good. I'm gonna need everyone to just sit in an English class for once. What is real good? You mean really well? Is that what you mean? Really well? What else? Back to the personal game at Cam's house. Cam, what am I hearing? Cam says he was really depressed at one point in his life, like really badly depressed. He says that he actually struggled with thoughts of ending his life. And it's really bad. I don't know what led to that. Was it something that he always dealt with all his life? Is he diagnosed with depression or something else? And that is a symptom of that undiagnosis that he may not be familiar with. Ultimately, he said that he overcame it because he realized he needs to change his mindset. And I applaud him for that. I applaud him for recognizing that. But I do wonder, is there something deeper than that? Right? It brings me back to what we first learned about Cam and how he grew up in a religious household and now he has this aversion to religion and faith and all of that. And I think there's something there. I think he maybe felt unprotected in his religion and maybe he didn't feel like it brought him the relief and the healing that he needed while he was drowning in depression. I think there's something there. So I would love to see if he further dives into that. Like what led to depression or when did he realize he was suffering from this? Nonetheless, I'm glad that he overcame it and he changed his mindset. So depression is a mother jumper. So I'm glad that he has overcome that. And I hope that he is continuously doing that work because with the mind, you have to actively tell yourself, this is not true. Not everything you think is true. Not everything you think is true. And you have to talk yourself out of scenarios that aren't real. Let's get into True. True walks into Naeem's gym date with an attitude, talking about very flippantly, like, oh, I'm sorry I'm late. She's a good hour late because they already did their squats, their stations of different exercises. And True brings up again, why didn't you call me? Ma'am, he doesn't have your number. You gave him a Google number. And she says, regardless, if I gave you a pigeon, you should have messaged me. True, man, this is why you're single. She has a nasty energy about her. Very, very prideful, very just nasty in her attitude. And I'm glad, spoiler alert, I'm glad she got eliminated. I ain't got time for that. Even the way that she handled it. The way that she handled the elimination, she could have been like, you know what? Sure, I did some things. I didn't handle some things as properly as I should have. I recognize that. And I'm sorry that, I did what I did. But lesson learned. And I wish you all the best. Like, she could have been more mature about it in her old age. No, she says her mid-grown age. Let's get to that. So we get to that, okay? Let's finish this part here. She saying she gave him 3 question mark and a text message as if that's supposed to be a clear, articulate way to respond to someone. What? Naya was like, yeah, I'm not. That doesn't make any sense. So he holds her accountable, and I feel like he did a good job doing so. True ends up walking up and walking out on him. So rude, so disrespectful. She leaves him be. She now finds Khalil and they start talking. We're going to cut to that in a moment. So now let's cut back to Fritz. Fritz is massaging Sahara's neck. And, she's doing that whole, I don't know why she stands that way, but I guess that's just her body type. She's standing talking about her neck is sore. He gave her a little massage, and she's saying, I gotta talk to you. No, I gotta talk to you. You gotta stop talking to me like I'm one of your homeboys. You gotta stop talking to me. You gotta stop. And she feels like he talks to her in a copy and paste type of message, which I find to be interesting. He says, no, I'm just very consistent. Nah, you copy and pasting. We get back to True. And like I said, she's talking to Khalil now. Khalil asked her, I forgot how it came up, but it was a casual way to ask. He just asked her, oh, how old are you? And you will have some women still to this day say, never ask a woman her age. It's so inappropriate. It's disrespectful. Your age? The fact that you're older is disrespectful? No? Okay. Or yeah, that's what you really, that's such a dumb, you just want to be mad. Are you mad at yourself? Are you mad that you're still living? Is that what it is? You know how many people would love to be the age that you're in? That means they're alive. So many people will still be whatever big age. She calls herself, she's not answering a question direct. She's not answering a question. She says, I'm grown. I'm mid-grown. And Khalil saying, so you're not going to give me your age? Yeah, that is a red flag. He says that's a red flag. He feels like she's mysterious. She's hiding something. And if you're trying to get to know me, if we're trying to get to know each other, you can't answer a simple question like, how old are you? That's weird to you. She doesn't have any kids. I need to know your age. If you're trying to have kids, we got to consider some factors here. How old are you, ma'am? She's given 42. Like, be proud of what is the issue with some women when it comes to their age? Like, y'all better be proud to be alive. It's a blessing. It's a blessing. Cam has a date with Rose. They're cheesing hard. The energy is nice. And I'm happy for it. It seems to be a good time. The energy's right. The vibes are right. Rose says she's been cheated on by every boyfriend I had. Oh. Now, look, I'm going to give her some credit here because I like the fact that she says it didn't make her bitter. Like, instead, she pieced her heart back together and she continues to go about it. She loves love and she doesn't let whatever heartbreak she went through with an ex get in the way with the next. But can women stop telling their potential new boyfriend, I was cheated on by every boyfriend I had? You know why? Because the next boyfriend is going to think, oh, I could go ahead and continue this pattern. Hello? That's what I would think. Because, people are like, oh, it's not a reflection I'm not trying to blame her. I'm not trying to blame her. I'm just saying, oftentimes we continue patterns. And when we reveal these patterns to the next man, he may likely think, oh, this is something that you're used to. Now, granted, obviously she's not still with those exes, but the point is the point. Keep that to yourself. Not everyone needs to know the cheat. Like, let's talk about cheating is the symptom. Can we just talk about that for hello? Let me hold your hand. Cheating is the symptom. What led to that? Was there a miscommunication between y'all? Did y'all lack sexual chemistry? Was there arguing and discontent with, or discontent, whatever the word is? Was there bad energy between y'all? Were you not getting along at the very least? Can we lead to that? Why is it always, oh, he cheated? I'm tired of that being the reason why you break up with someone. Enough. Everyone's cheating. Hello? Enough. Rose talking about let's pray before the meal. She's sitting like the way that she's seated, and maybe it's the way that she's dressed or her spine. I don't know, but she just sits very shoulders pulled back. Maybe that's good spine, good posture. But girl, are you trying to do a little peekaboo? That's what I'm feeling. She's like, is it okay? I really love to bless my food. I want to bless these hands. So Kim acquiesces. They're holding hands, and she's going, and she's like, Lord, Father God, in the name of Jesus, I want to give thanks to who you are and all that you are. I want to thank God for being the Redeemer that you are, Lord. You are the Alpha and the Omega. Nothing can come between me and the Lord. Hallelujah. Like, that was Rose. She was doing a lot. I don't pray before any meal. Let me stop. I pray before big meals, but she's talking about she prays before every meal, breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack. You know how much I eat? Do you know how much? And it's like snacking, right? Little bites of everything. So you mean to tell me before you start a little bite of this or that, you're praying? Or do you only pray before the start of eating a meal, a full meal? Like, what's the stipulations when it comes to praying before a meal? What does that look like? What type of meal? Oh, Lord. Okay, so Fritz, his name should be Fitz at this point. Fritz holds a house party, a pool party at that. It looked lit. I want to be like, hey, when's the next one? And this reminded me when he said he's a wealth management worker. And I was like, oh, I guess he does have money because that house looked good. The pool looked good. The lawn looked good. The back porch looked good. The burgers on the grill looked good. Fritz, yeah, someone needs to snatch you up now. So it's Naeem, Cisco, Eddie, Shanice, Kiera, Coley, and Angie at his house. Angie is playing wife when it comes to Eddie. She's helping him out. She's making him really feel like a partnership. And it's very natural. It doesn't feel performative. It doesn't feel fake at all. And Eddie notices that. He notices that. He says it in the confessional. And later on, he tells her that he really does appreciate that about her and really loved how she was helping him out. And she said, you know, that's just natural. That's me. That's who I am. And the way that she was dressed too, it seemed like this was her house. Like this was like, oh yeah, here's the burger, here's the tongue, here's the tonsils here. Like it felt like she was super comfortable within that role. And I think that says a lot about who she is. I thought that was absolutely admirable. What I noted here is Black people jumping in the water. I love it. I love it. There weren't any bougie people like, oh, my hair, or I'm just going to wet my feet. Maybe it's the Philadelphia folks here, but I loved how comfortable they were to just literally, you have Shanice. She came in full face makeup, wearing this one piece bathing suit that was, it was pants. Like it was just, and she looked good. And she had these heels on. She jumped in the pool with Fritz on her. Like she was holding on to him and he fell back and she fell on him. They were like, it was like this parachute couple. It was so cute. And once Fritz jumped in, that obviously led other people to do so. And he said that. He's like, okay, I have to be the one to set it off at a pool party because it's my pool party. And that's what happened. Everyone follows suit. And I love that scene. That was honestly the best scene this episode. Seeing all these Black people enjoying the water, letting their hair get wet. You know, some of them had weave, some of them had braids, some of them just, yeah, it was just dope. Actually, I don't think anyone had braids in this one, but nonetheless, a lot of them had weaves on, and you would think they would feel some type of way. Oh, don't wet my hair. I can't go too deep. I can't really swim. All that BS excuse. Get in the water and have fun, and that's what we saw. Fritz and Coley sit down in this scene that definitely was concocted. Coley approaches him about some of the things she saw on his social media. She saw that he follows poly life, and she said, this is ready to love, not ready to love everyone. Okay. Fritz says, yeah, I follow them. That doesn't mean I practice what they say. That doesn't mean anything. I follow NASA. That doesn't mean I'm an astronaut. I follow chefs. That doesn't mean I cook. He made some good points. But I mean, it's a little different with poly life, though. If you follow poly life, he said verbatim that he does it out of curiosity. What are you curious about? Are you curious to know how it works so much so that you would like to see how you can make it work in your life? So I do think there may be something deeper there. But he says, no, that's not what I'm trying to get on. And what I don't like is it then gets into, I think he said something like, I'm not freaky like that, whatever. And it's like, can we stop? Not being in a poly relationship doesn't mean you're freaky. It doesn't. Like, stop. Kiara tells us about her children's father. First of all, I thought she only had one child. So I was like, oh, children. Okay. So we learned that she has 2 kids, in fact. And the man who is their father is actually currently incarcerated. He has been incarcerated for the past 6 years. And he's about to get off. He's about to get off soon. And I felt like, TMI. But again, the goal with these few dates is for the men to create an environment for the women to dig deeper, and vice versa. We dug deep with this, and we learned that Kiara's children's father is incarcerated. He was this boxer. They were just going through hard times in their relationship. He cheated on her. Again, cheated. He cheated on me. So I just don't have the patience anymore when people be like, oh, he cheated on me. That's why we broke up. That's why y'all broke up? Okay. Not because y'all were arguing a lot. Not because, again, cheating is a symptom. It's not the only thing. There's oftentimes, if not always, let me just say always, actually, it is always because of something else or a series of things that occur that led to someone cheating on you. It's not just this one-stop thing. Anyway, Eddie talks to Angie, telling her that he appreciates her partnership energy, really likes that, and he's looking forward to that. We get to Coley and Jay. They're on this golf date. Jay initially thought Coley was not his type because she appeared as a spoiled daddy's girl. But during this day, he's realizing, she's pretty cool. They're getting along pretty well. And it's a little bit of a vibe. But we know that Jay, and he says it himself later on, that he's still really into Kiara. And that's who he's really trying to pursue. He also questions her and says, is sex a big thing to you? What kind of question is this? Huh? Yes. Every day, all day, in a day, twice a day. We go back to Tommy's vault. Jay says Kiara still is his number one shawty. That's his baby girl. Let's see who else. Some people say, well, Kiara is not who they're feeling. Same for True. People feel like they're trying to find the truth through True. And that's difficult. That was a good one. A lot of alliteration throughout this damn episode, huh? So we get to the exit dates, and Khalil meets with True while Cam meets with Sahara. Sahara was one of the names that, of course, was mentioned yet again. She was too aggressive, doing too much, too loud, loose cannon, all of that. Cam is trying to tell her, look, you can appear as such, but we need to understand the softer side of you. We want to dig deeper. At first, she was defensive. She was like, "But what? But what?" Sahara, that's the what. That's what we're talking about. Calm down. He tells her, "You're still ready to love," and I was happy to see it actually. And I like the fact that it ended with Cam saying, "I understand you. I get you. I like you for who you are. But some of these guys, they may not understand you fully. So you really want to let them in so that they can really get you the way that I get you." So he was giving her some pointers, and you could tell he was interested in her as well. So I like that for her. I do. We get to Khalil though. Khalil, he's talking to True, telling her that she comes off as a professional. Like, you come off very mysterious. You come off like a professional. You're not really vulnerable. You're not letting us in. He gives her examples, concrete examples, and she's still defensive about it. She's saying, "Oh, y'all saying they say, y'all saying they say, y'all saying they say. You mean Naeem? You mean Naeem because of the Google Doc number? Really, one person? Oh, he's a Cancer, and that's why all of y'all feeling this way." No, it's not just him, but also with me. When I asked you your age, you talking about I'm mid-grown. That's not an age. What is the number? What is the number? She's like, "Oh, why don't you could just ask me. You could just ask me." Khalil said, I did ask you. "Oh, you just ask me right now, though. Ask me right now. How old are you?" "I'm 37. Okay." Like, ma'am. So then he does the whole "you're not ready to love." But even before he gets a chance to say it, she's like, "I'm not ready to love." I'm not. You're not, bitch. You're not. Goodbye. I'll see y'all next time.